to be supporting the team in a new capacity. So our goals for our time today, oh, wait, hold on, wait a second. Did we hit the record button and magic happen? Did someone just hit it?
Yes, we did, because we have a couple of people who can't be here tonight, and I promised we would record.
See, that's what I wanted to make sure, because I get to talk and I get so excited, I forget about these things. So yes, we are recording. So if you're watching from the future, thanks for watching. So our goals are, we're going to understand what Microsoft Teams is and how you can use it in your classroom, explore the features of Microsoft Teams. We've added in Flip. We've been watching your flips, but we're going to kind of revisit that a little bit because not everybody replied in the flip. And we want to make sure we get everybody there, know how to do it, show you some secret tricks. And also, hopefully, you're going to gain some ideas for using Teams and Flip for collaboration and communication. Those are our goals. Sound good?
Yes.
Thumbs up if that sounds good to everybody on what we're going to be doing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dive in. We're doing an activity that's, how's it going? So we saw you all a few weeks ago. We've missed you. We're glad you're back. So those of you that have come back and are hanging out with us again, we want to know, how's it going? What have you been up to? And then we're going to do a little pre-survey that kind of gauges your knowledge of Microsoft tools. We're going to look at Flip a little bit. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks. We're going to dive into Teams. We're going to highlight some things to help you navigate our team space. And then we're going to mention Microsoft Learn, which is your self-paced options. And we're going to talk about how you can do some. We have some champion educators in here. When we were watching the Flip videos, we got folks in here that are like certified in everything. They want to know all the things. So Microsoft Learn is an opportunity for you to dive in, self-paced, and learn some more things. So we're going to try this. This is Microsoft's whiteboard tool. So we're trying to do everything in Microsoft for today.
Yes.
And when we do Google, we'll do googly stuff. So this is actually a whiteboard activity. I'm going to drop this link in here in the chat for y'all. So I'm going to show you, this is a whiteboard here. So thumbs up. We're still seeing my screen, the magic happening here.
Thumbs up. We still see it.
All right, good deal. So you have sticky notes, text, reactions, shapes, images, and templates. Documents and links can be embedded in videos. So if you've used Jamboard, I love Jamboard. This is like Jamboard, but a little bit on steroids because you got some extra features that Jamboard doesn't have. It is collaborative. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the share button and show you how I can say what can happen here. I can send it to certain people. I can also change it so people that I specify or anyone in the Atlanta Public Schools with the link, and I can change whether or not you can just view it. That means you're just looking at it, or I can say that you can edit it. So that means we're going to dive in here together. So I'm going to tell you this now. I've done this with a handful of people. We've got quite a few folks in this meeting, so we're going to see if we can break the whiteboard. We're going to all try and hop in and see what happens.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So challenge accepted. So I'm going to click apply. I'm going to grab this link. I'm going to throw it in the chat so you can grab it there, but I'm also going to post it. So I'm going to post it right there. I'm also going to post it as an assignment in our Teams. So what that's going to look like here is I'm going to open up my Teams on the other side so you can kind of see a sneak preview. Let's see. I'm going to go to my team. I'm going to bring this window over here. I remember I'm like doing all the things. So here's our little chat window. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go into our assignments and I'm going to post it as a new conversation. I'm going to dive a little bit more in here, but I'm going to show you what this looks like. So for folks that are watching it later and they need it, they're not in the chat. I'm going to say here, I want to do a little title and I'm going to say this is our whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our whiteboard, and we said, what we call it, says, how's it going, right? You remember, I can't type you out. How's it going? So I can put the little question mark there. I can put the link. So it automatically linked it right now, and I'm just going to send it live. So now this will live over here in channel number 2 for assignments. This is also the reminder for your flip. Just a quick little tip while we're over here. You'll notice it goes in bold if there's a new action item in that channel that you have not seen yet. So that's how you can make sure you're not missing anything. In the team, it will highlight that there's something there. So if I go over to the monthly meetings, it's going to show that someone actually put a comment in here and I can see that and it goes away. But I dropped that in there in the chat for you to grab it as well as in the activity. But look at this magic happening right now. So on the left-hand side, you can grab your sticky note and you're going to drop in there. What is a glow for your week? How's it been going in the last couple of weeks? Give us a glow. That's something that's been awesome. Here's what's great. I can add in shapes. I can add in images. So maybe you want to search for an image that depicts how you're feeling about things. You can do that. But notice, since you are logged in, I can see who's doing what on this space. So I can keep an eye on who's doing what and adding to our space here. Okay. All right. So the other bonus here is I can go here. I'm going to grab this one right here because this is awesome this week. I collaborated with our ETS and some STEM lessons. So there's another option too that you can actually give reactions. So this is where it levels up. So you can comment and react on it. So I can give a thumbs up if I want to on a given thing. I can give a note. I can actually drop reactions. Like I've got some options over here, stars, hearts, checks, and all that. So it's got a little bit more functionality than Jamboard, but it gives you a little bit of flexibility. So what do we think about Whiteboard? So already, have we learned a new tool or a new idea or something that you might want to try with your students?
Yeah, Jen, and if you pinch it in and out,
yes,
it becomes like endless. And I just pinned our logo to the top and put how's it going at the top.
Yeah, look, so I can zoom out to see all of this space. And that,
Wow.
like Melissa said, it is unlimited, but I can also zoom to fit to screen because people are all over here. But I can zoom in to see what they got. See, look, I got folks doodling and drawing over here, adding all these amazing comments.
It seems like after you train your students, you'll be able to do this. This would be great in math class.
Hello?
Oh yeah, because you can use the drawing tool. If I go over here to the drawing tool, especially with our students that have touch devices, this is perfect for them to be able to annotate. I'm thinking my math teachers right here, but I can see everybody like clicking around here. So we just wanted to kind of see what are some glows and grows. So I'm gonna zoom in here and see what we got. One of my shy students with disabilities volunteered to show their work on the board today, which was a big step. I don't know whose that is, but you know what? I just got chills on that one. That right there is a big old heart. I'm throwing a heart on that one. That is fantastic.
That is.
That's what it's all about. Going great this week. Had fun. Let's see what else we got. So you can also lock elements down by clicking on the lock on it. So that way, if you've got younger kiddos, you don't want them to start moving things around. They're engaged in the reading and analyzing characterization. Love it. One of my glows this week was at PL Day. I ran into one of my former students.
Yeah, it was so cute. It was so cute.
He is a grown man. I taught him in 8th grade, taught him 8th grade ELA, literally like 15 years ago. I should have done the math. I was getting more gray hairs as I was looking at him. Grown young man who is now a social studies teacher at Long Middle School. Talk about like that just warmed my heart right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at some other things here. I use technology resource to allow my students to analyze their data. That's your jam right there, Melissa. All right, I'm going to give a shout out to Miss Cassis, Senora Cassis. She shared an awesome project she did since our last session using Canva with her kiddos that they did a walkabout the campus and they had to capture pictures of the vocabulary, the Spanish vocabulary they were learning, and made a video in Canva. It was fantastic. So awesome job there. I wanted to share that out. And I want to point out, if you have anything you're doing or something like that, please share it with us so we know all of the great stuff that's happening in between our fun sessions.
Yes, because we will brag on you.
Oh yeah, we look for that. We look for our. Oh, look at this! 1 week closer to Thanksgiving break. True story. Oh, let's thumbs up on that one right there.
Oh.
Okay, Generation Genius and the Kahoot games attached to the lessons. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, you can copy and pasted from Twitter. Twitter. Oh my goodness. Let me make it smaller. But this is proof. The child is now grown.
I love it. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. And y'all can keep adding to this, but what do we think? So I'm going to show you how I got to whiteboard. So you're like, you can make one yourself. So we know that when we log in,
I like you.
In Office 365, I can go in here and I can say, if you don't see it, go to all apps, but whiteboard lives right in here. And when I open up that whiteboard, it will show me my existing ones, but I can do a new whiteboard. I can go over here to the settings. Melissa and I had way too much fun with this because she was like, I need it to be cute. I can do different backgrounds. I can do different colors. So if you're a math teacher, you can do squares, you can do grids, you can do graphing. We'll do Melissa's favorite color, pink, just for you, Melissa.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. But I can also go up here and I can do collaborative cursors on or off. So if it was too distracting for your kiddos, I can turn that off. I can turn on and off the enhanced ink to shape stuff if I want. I can also go to here, the plus. Under here, they have templates. So look at all these: brainstorming, problem solving, design, research, strategy, all of that, project planning, retrospectives. They keep adding more and more options, and these are ready-made templates that, look at this, cause and effect. Like, you can drop off if you're doing a reading analysis of a
Oh,
story.
wow.
Is this not amazing?
That really is.
So
It is amazing.
right now, some folks are like, Jen, quit talking. We want to just go play with whiteboard. But you bookmark it because you're going to come back to it. But also I can use the drawing, so I can annotate on here. So I'm thinking you can bring in images. You can bring in images of text. You can use the reactions options for them to drop reactions on key vocabulary, stuff like that. So that is whiteboard right there. Again, I can share it out by copying the link, choosing who can have access to it. And then you could post this, and if you're using Teams, that's great. There's actually the ability to make it live as an app inside of Teams. We'll show you what that looks like. But you can also just push this link. If you're using Google Classroom, we can mix and match here because these all work well together. You can use a link to a Microsoft Whiteboard because it's more robust than your Jamboard, and put it in your Google Classroom. So, all right.
It is much improved because I put it down a few years ago when it first came out, but this looks good.
All right, so let's keep it moving here, but we just wanted to see how it was going. Thanks for sharing that. So friendly reminder for logging into Office 365, you just log in via My Backpack. When you log into My Backpack, you can see this icon here, Office 365. If you want to favorite it so it lives down here on your main toolbar, you can right click on it and you can actually choose to favorite it, and it will live right there. So that's how you can organize it. That's why there's that star right there. So when I click on that, now it's going to launch me into my Office 365 web-based. It's going to ask me to sign in and all the things. We don't want to do that right now. We're going to go back to where it was cooperating. But you log in and do all the things, right? So the other thing is, and I was working with some folks the other day, they're like, well, I just go to office.com, which you can do that as well. So on the web, you can bookmark it and go there as well. By going through My Backpack, it's once you signed in, it remembers all the things right there.
Yeah.
We had so much fun playing in the whiteboard though, but do we have time for a quick little commercial break while they're probably still throwing their glows on there. All right, here's a little commercial break about why using Microsoft.
Once, there was a teacher who wanted her students to learn, but the demands on her time kept growing and growing. In the beginning, she was overwhelmed by lesson plans, grading, schedules, and textbooks. With so many students and 5 classes a day, the clock was always ticking away. Until one day she discovered Office 365 Education. It was full of powerful tools built just for teachers and students, and it was completely free. These tools helped her manage everything in one place. They helped her organize and distribute lessons, and even work with fellow teachers and administrators. The best part was, because everything worked with the documents and devices that her and her students already used, they didn't have to worry about setup. They could get right to learning. With Office Online, students could work together, even outside the classroom, and the teacher could be there every step of the way to give feedback. Many of her students had different learning needs, and she wanted to make sure she could reach them all. Her visual learners could write notes with digital ink, and auditory learners could use learning tools to have any text read back to them. In fact, every moment became an opportunity to learn, because with Sway, content and experiences came to life as interactive reports and presentations that could be designed automatically and shared instantly. With all of these tools, the students were ready for the world, because Office 365 Education meant that time no longer ruled the classroom, so the teacher felt empowered to focus on her greatest passion, teaching. Get Office 365 for free at office.com/teachers.
Yeah, this is not your grandmother's Microsoft anymore. You have access to that new. It acts just like Google.
And it does keep getting better and better with the collaborative element features of it. And I think that's why when Melissa and I were planning for EdTech Champions, we wanted to to dive in, and we were like, well, we know the teachers use Google Classroom. We're like, so bringing you all into Teams is introducing you to another tool, another way to organize your resources and share with your students. And we've learned some things in the process. So what do we do best? When we try things, we learn things and we get better with it. So we do want to learn a little bit more about you and your comfort level with Microsoft tools, because we have been, as Melissa likes to say, we've gone hard in the paint for Google for the last few years. And now
Yes,
the
we
pendulum's
have.
swinging back to the Microsoft. Like when I was a teacher in the classroom, we only had Microsoft. Then Google came out and everybody jumped on the Google bandwagon. And then Microsoft said, hey, we got some stuff too. So but the reason we want to be skilled at both of these is because in the workplace, we don't know where these kids are going to go and what devices and what tools and applications are going to be required to be comfortable with. So I'm
And I
going
do
to
have a real life story, Jen. I want to interject for a second.
please do.
Our
Yes.
boss, Natasha Rachel, her children went to schools in Decatur, and like she would see them. They were Google, so she would see them on their devices, doing their homework, blah blah blah. Her oldest child went to school and became an accountant. Guess what his jobs, and he's had a couple of jobs since he's been out of college. Are they using Google at his jobs? No, they're using Microsoft Excel. Our kids need to know how to operate in both worlds, y'all. We do them a disservice when we only focus on one.
All right, so I'm dropping this assignment in here again.
Miss Drake said 80% of companies use Microsoft. Thank you, ma'am.
I knew that we needed to say we know all the things about Microsoft. Thank you for Kranika for being there. That's true. That because there's so many collaborative elements, like Teams definitely is making it a lot easier for them to know. But we want students to be able to translate the skills, that it shouldn't be overwhelming that when they see a platform that they don't know how to dive in and figure it out. So I dropped this survey in here for you. I've also added it under our assignments tab, so it's there as well for folks in the future. So when is the district looking to move to Microsoft? Here's the thing. We have both. We are one of the rare districts that has both. We are not exclusively Google. We are not exclusively Microsoft like some districts are. Like I think Fulton County is all Microsoft, no Google anything. We have access to both, and so we live in both worlds. And that kind of goes to along the lines with the flexibility and autonomy that we had for the past couple of years, where you could kind of choose and do it was like kind of a choose your own adventure at the schools. So I mean, am I wrong? I mean, like we were doing. So now we have access to both. Yeah, right. It's nice to have both, and we need to figure out. It always has to be what is the best tool for the task. So I would say Jamboard's great if you want to do something super quick, but you saw how more robust the whiteboard tool was in Microsoft. So if I needed to do something more advanced that had a template ready that I could see that reaction piece on there. And then there's those of us who are also using Schoology. Yes, Nunik. Hey, friend. Yeah. But luckily you can embed your Microsoft and your Google tools in there. So, all right. So I'm going to hop over here. All right. I put this link in here, and I'm going to pull up the data here. I'm going to do that in a little side window. Let me open me a new tab, bring it over here. So y'all should be able to start diving in. Let me know if everyone can access that. I put it in the chat. I also put a link in there. I'm going to go over here so I can pull up our data as it's coming in. So another thing we wanted to point out is the power of Microsoft Forms. It keeps getting better. I swear it's like a battle between the two. It's like, okay, Google does something and Microsoft says, oh, okay, I see you. We're going to try this. And
it totally is.
And then Microsoft does something and Google says, okay, I see you. I got something for you too. All right, let's see here. There we go.
So did you put the timer on, Jen?
I did not, but I'm going to do that right now. I do have a little timer. I'm going to hit this little, it should take us less than 5 minutes. Can't wait. Better than Google Forms. Bring it. Yes. Here, I got something for you. Brand new release. Let me lock in here to my right form here. All the apps. Let me see here what's going on. Let's see here. I know magic is happening here. I'm just trying to get over here to my.
Now, I will say, I like Microsoft a lot better than Google in a lot of things, but I'm still a Google Forms girl. Although, Jen's showing me some things that Microsoft has made some improvements. So they are coming back. So let's see.
You know what? I did that trick where I tried to
Laverne.
log in. It kicked me back out. I got to put in my little passcode here. Hold on. And I'm going to be able to show you all the behind the scenes here in a second. 105.
You know what? We do not have access to the Office store.
Okay.
To in-store. Oh. So,
yeah, I was in my actual team notebook and I wanted to add in a whiteboard and I got that nasty message.
I'm sorry.
In your
but we need to look at that. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, like I get it when I want to add something to PowerPoint. You know how they have add-ins for PowerPoint?
Yes.
I get that message too. But you can add a whiteboard to your OneNote.
Yeah, I want to add it to my OneNote so I can use it with my kids tomorrow. And so, because I want to do that Jamboard with them, and I'm getting that nasty message I always get because I don't have clearance.
Wait. Well, I don't have clearance either, girl.
Oh, okay.
Well, we were able to add in one when we go to the team section. We'll take a look and we'll look at OneNote. That's a good question.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
No worries. So here I am in my question. So now you're seeing on the back end, this is the new timer feature they just added. So right here, Nunik, and the rest of you that are like, I really want to be able to set a timer for when my kids can fill out this quiz. I also want to say a start time and an end time. So I can go right here into my settings for this one. So we're going to try it now. It opens up, go over here to the right-hand side, more settings. Click on settings, and now I can choose accept responses. I can close it or open it. I'm leaving it open because we got people responding right now. I can choose a start date, an end date, and even set a duration of how long you have to take it. Nunik, did I make you happy?
That's an upgrade.
Right there. I mean, that right there is awesome. She wants a pros and cons head to head. I need to do a comparison. Do I need to do a Google? I need to do a Venn diagram. I'll work on that. I'm making a note. Venn diagram.
Yes.
Of what, I have one for why do you when. Okay, I got it. I'm giving me homework. Forms versus forms. I like it. So here, I can also shuffle the question if I wanted to, and I can allow whether or not they can submit another answer. So I can set that timer. And I can also so I have questions in here. I can choose some basic settings, upload or download it. So very much similar to adding questions in a Google form, but you have some options. You've got some theme options here, a little bit more. I love that they've added these animated ones, jazzes them up. And so we have responses coming in right now. So I can actually see names. Notice that you don't get the word cloud situation in Google Forms. You also don't get the average time to complete. So I can see if I'm gonna pick on my friend, Miss Naku took like 1 minute because she didn't read the question. She just click, 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 click. I would be able to see, what's up with that, right? I can look at the results. I can scroll through here and see any commonalities. All right, I can see Twitter handles here. So these are my different questions, right? Now I can see what is your role. I've got a bar graph that I can see where folks are, my subject areas. So look at all this extra levels of data that I'm getting out of this form, the Microsoft form versus a Google form. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Google Forms, but I think that this is some extra level of data here that I can pull in. So the other thing was Melissa and I were talking about, well, we wanted to go, there's our timer. So we wanted the ability to grab your information. And so now I can actually open this in Excel and I can filter out, I want your name, your school, your Twitter handle, and then we can post that in our thing. You didn't like that? You don't like my Hartzell sound? This was so I can see who's answered what, and I could filter out and hide some things if I don't need you to know all the answers, but I really just want your username and your Twitter handle so we can all connect. So I was able to gather that data, and I can now manipulate that data, slice it, dice it, however I want to, in that Excel spreadsheet. An answer to the question, that is just the timer sound at the end of that video. So I didn't pick it. So it's not a built-in Microsoft timer. Uh-oh.
Jen for the
Charmaine says
win.
she might make the slide. She might dip over into the. You
Okay,
keep getting an
Charmaine.
error message. Make sure you've answered all the questions. The only thing we made optional was your Twitter one. Other folks are getting kind of excited. Yeah.
Jen, you know I hate to tell you this, and we discussed this beforehand. It is 7:30.
I know. We don't have enough time. I'm going to quit talking, and we're going to move on to our next thing. And you've answered all the
so
questions.
much good stuff. Like, what does the time even go?
Too many fun things. All right, she's keeping me on track. All right, next up, Flip. And if you're not able to answer it right now, I don't know why. That link is in the chat, and you can come back to it. But I made it so anyone could answer it. It's open to anyone to answer, so that's kind of weird. So we wanted to talk about Flip real quick, not a super deep dive, because Flip is formerly Flipgrid. We asked you all to respond to the Flip, and we had some amazing videos that people responded, and I was taking notes. I learned some things that we have folks that this is year zero in education, like in terms of like their first year teaching. Someone said fail, go Google. Dang, hold on. I'm going to make sure I didn't turn anything off here. I got 15 responses. I didn't turn anything off, accept it. It's all there. I didn't set it. I'll turn that off. Make sure nothing. All right, and the answers are still coming in. Hopefully they're still going to come in. So we shared it out, and we have someone that this is their first year teaching, all the way up to 30 plus years. We got so many people with some amazing. Now it's working. Maybe the 30-minute timer went out. I don't know. Weird. These are where you try the things. Don't you love when you try something with your students, and then it's like, but it worked a minute ago.
Right. It only happens when you're live trying to show somebody how to do something.
So Melissa and I love Flip because it's an interdisciplinary tool. It's not a content-specific tool. It's an opportunity for students to create videos and even do podcasting now because they have an audio-only option. So I was only going to point this out because we didn't have everybody. Someone said we need a head-to-head on Flip versus formative video. Nanak, you're killing me. I love it. Flip versus formative. So my question to you is formative video response. Can you come back toward it's in one sitting? Like, we're going to have to talk. Can you screen record? So I'm going to hop over here to my camera real quick, and it's going to fuss at me because my camera's in use. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to retry it. There we go. I just wanted to point out, if you haven't played with Flipgrid lately and you haven't recorded your video yet, you still can do that. We put it in the assignment section. You can add text to your video. So I can add cool things like EdTech champions. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to get too jazzy with it. I can go over here. I can draw. So I can doodle on the screen to emphasize something. I can add in stickers. So, I feel like a superwoman today. There we go.
Yes.
I can add in GIFs. I can add in frames. I don't know why it doesn't pre-populate, but when you hover over it, it shows you what it is. So you can click through there so your kids can get really creative. And then also I can do a board where I can actually have a split screen. So if you're trying to explain a math concept, so I have my math teachers that do this, and they actually will use it to solve and model, or you have your students solve and model it. And then I can even upload my own photos to it, and I can even use a backdrop. I'm going to grab one right here. So here's my thing. This is definitely wild. I'll slide over here. And that's on top of my head. But I have all this, but I could also do audio only. So kids that don't like to be on camera can also do audio only. And I can also record my screen. So my question to you, Nunik, is, can formative allow them to record their screen? Haha. I don't know that. So I'm asking you that question. So I can actually screen record about what I'm doing there. So just wanted to point out a couple of things. So I can hit record. 1, 2, 3, I get a countdown and I can be like, yes, I'm here with the EdTech champions. This is our first we had our kickoff. This is our first session. We're talking about all things Microsoft. I can hit that record. I can go next. I can trim the front and the back. I can add in music if I want. I can add in more clips and then I can submit it. So folks, jazz theirs up that they had. But I wanted to point that out.
So we're going to have a flip challenge. We're
right.
going to have a flip challenge.
Right. So we're going to level up with flip. So some folks already did it. So if you have not watched your colleagues, please check out their videos. Like I did civil rights PSAs. I've done weather reports with kids. We did knowing about reduce, reuse, recycling. So I got tons of different ones in there. So definitely, we just wanted to point that out so that you all knew a couple of things that you could do in Flip that maybe you didn't know. A lot of people just recorded and spoke to the camera, but you can definitely jazz it up there. All right, moving along. This is what Melissa's been so excited to talk to you about.
Been so excited, y'all. And we're going to have to go fast. But really, why to use Teams? Just like Google Classroom is a home base, Teams is the Microsoft version of Google Classroom, but it's a little bit on steroids from Google Classroom, especially because you can add in a whole bunch of applications, and you can even add in a OneNote when you create a Teams. There's a OneNote that's associated with it. You can create channels. You can collaborate. It helps you organize everything. There's a files tab. You can even in channels, we'll show you how you can restrict channels. So like, let's say that you're a 6th grade chair. You can have a channel with you and each one of your teachers where the other teachers don't see that channel. Like Jen and I have a channel in EdTech Champions that just Jen and I can see and only Jen and I can access so that we can do Jen and Melissa things.
So we were actually in it earlier doing our prep work in that so that y'all didn't show, like we learned from the last time we were in our general meeting and people popped in and we're like, hold on, we're not ready. So we can meet over here separately, which is great for if you're working with different groups and you need that space. So we can pop back over. Notice the monthly meetings popped up because some people they were commenting. We've got the assignments tab over here. We've got Tech It Out Tuesdays. We're going to be talking about that. So you've got multiple channels that you can have for different things. And you can also add up here, as Melissa pointed out, you can have files that you connect to it. You can also have notes. And if we go back to our general channel, we can actually see that we did a staff notebook. So do you want to explain the difference between the staff notebook versus, so we can make classes, or will our classes be team chats?
We want to, and I'm stuttering. So we wanted to do some assignments with you guys, but we made this a staff teams, and we'll show you the difference in the teams in a second. But with assignments, you can also do reading progress. And if you have not heard about that yet, Kranika is our district queen. It is, y'all, I went to one of our ETSs. She was showing her admin team how to use reading progress for kids. And I've trained on it, but I've never used it. Like as a student, it gamifies reading, y'all. It's everything in life. And people who've used it with their kids say it makes your children want to learn. Want to read. You can choose what they read. There are things in there already. But anyway, that's in a staff teams. A class teams. We did not do that with you guys, but every teams that you have, there is a OneNote that's automatically created that goes along with that teams. So you'll see right here, and it goes in the general channel. You see staff notebook up at the top. But as Jen was saying, if you go to the plus sign, you can also add, and these are quick tabs that your kids can go to in those different channels. You can even do web links. So like, let's say you already have a OneNote created, you could get the link for that OneNote and add it as a tab in one of your other teams.
So you can add a bunch of different apps. So when we were making ours, we were like, well, we'll have you all be in like a PLC because this is a professional development. if we put you all in as students, we would have actually been able to give your assignments. And we were like, but our challenge to you is, and I did this, I had an MIE cohort last semester, last school year, and I pick one class to try it with where you can create it. So there was a question of, if you make your own classes, it's super easy to do that. If we go over here to teams, I can say I want to create a team, and we're going to give you all time to do it. I can create a team. And I can choose, is it a class? Is it a professional learning? Is it a staff one? Is it other? So they have different purposes. So if you have a club, so like I'm thinking about, like Miss Nunnick works with her kids that do all of their tech competitions. She could have a separate team that she puts all of those students in to be able to message them and organize their projects and everything that they're doing. I'm thinking about other folks that I know that, like, so we have Coach Robinson, who is the athletic director at King. He's one of our EdTech champions. He could use a team to organize for announcements and schedules and all of that. And because he has multiple teams he works with, he could have different channels in there for the different teams he's working with. Does that make sense? Are there any limitations on using Microsoft Teams in a Mac lab? No, because there is the web version of it. And then there is the download, and they should be able to download it too on the Mac lab. The kids could log in, but they can access most of this stuff. You know, obviously there's more bells and whistles if you have the downloaded app, but if you're living in the cloud, you have a lot of functionality. So if you created a class, and I'll do that, I can give that a class. So I'm going to call this EdTech Champs Demo. I can give it a description. I can then click next. And then I can actually go in, and it makes it, I can add my students. I can add co-teachers. So you can individually add your students, but we don't need to do that. You can actually do a code that you can give the kids a code and they join it, just like I did. I could put a join there. So it's very similar to Google Classroom in that sense. So I can just go teacher. So I'm going to add Melissa on here as a co-teacher. So you can have co-teachers. And I'm going to add her to that. Okay. I'm going to click close. And then now I've got this. I can upload class materials. I can set up that class notebook. I can start a chat, that conversation. I can, right here, I've got homepage, class notebook, assignments, grades, reflect, insights. So notice that's different than a PLC one that we're using for you all, because we did it as a professional development one. So I can see all of these. I can jazz it up. I can put my little logo up there. So I know some of our schools have class colors. I know at Howard, they do like by class period, they're by class colors. You could do that, or you could do a silly logo for your content area. But notice I can add my posts here. I can have files. I can add those channels with those apps. So I can add those. So if I wanted to add a whiteboard as an app, I can do that right there. I can give it a name, and then that's going to live up here. It's going to also link to, so look, now that whiteboard is right there, living inside of Teams, which is a lot easier than kids hopping all around to all the different things. But over here to the left is where I will see those assignments, if I make any assignments for the kiddos, right there.
And talk about organization too, please.
Yeah, so the nice thing is, so Melissa loves her emojis. So you can rename these. So I can actually go up here and I can change some things. I can add some more channels under the channels. I can say, all right, I want to add a new channel. So I can manage the channel. I can give it permissions, who can see it, who can post in it. You know your kiddos, whether or not you want them to be able to post in a common space. Where is the join code in the ellipse? So if I go up here to the join, I'm looking at some other things up here that the questions are popping. I started using Teams with my first and second grades, but the drawing feature acts finicky on the Chromebooks. Carly, and thank you for telling us that. That's interesting to know.
Yeah, that is.
It should play nice on Chromebooks, yes, because there is a Teams app, yeah. And if you got the little kiddos, they should also have access to their first and second grade. No, they got the Chromebooks, not the iPads. But I would also say you want to make sure that your Chromebooks are updated to the most current operating system, to make sure that, like, if there's any updates to Teams, that it would cooperate a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing that EJ says it does well on Chromebooks. Thanks, friend. Appreciate that.
So maybe they just need to be updated.
Yep, that's what it sounds like. So, all right, so I'm going to go here to manage channel. I can get a link directly to it. So if you need to share that out with your kiddos, I can add another channel. So this is where Melissa has way too much fun. She likes to add her emojis in there. She likes to add her numbers. It helps with organization though, because you can say, go to channel number 1, go to channel number 2, go to channel number 3. And she likes to put the emojis in there and that helps. But look at this privacy. This is where I can say everyone in it or only specific people. So this is a really good way to support your diverse learners. So you could actually have a little hub that you push resources out to those kids that need specific resources. So you could have a channel for everybody, and then you could have a specific channel for remediation and support, and another separate channel that is for those high flyers that need additional extension activities. Does that make sense? So we wanted just to kind of point that out so that you can, play around with it. So I'm going to hop back over to our team. So if I go back to, I can see, look at all my teams I have here. I've done some from Midtown.
And you can reorder them by dragging them, y'all.
Right. So here's that MIE cohort that I did last year. If I'd be like, all right, that was fun, but that was last year, I can drag it down here. I can move my Midtown one over here. Here's our, this is the most priority one right here, the EdTech Champions. I need to have that in the first spot. There we go. So I can have that right here. And so notice I can have multiple teams right there. And then once you get that code, there was a question about how to share the code. If we go to manage channel, all right, Melissa.
Ma'am.
If I want to get that join code.
So you click on it. You go up to the name of your teams.
Yep.
Go to the 3 dots and wait, there's more. So you go to manage channel. And where is the code?
Channel
click.
settings.
Click.
I got it right here.
Thank you.
Settings, team code, generate that code. And when I do that, there's my code to join.
Oh, we didn't generate one for this one because we added everyone.
Right. But if you're here, most likely you're in the team, but that's how you can do it. And so now I could have created it and then in the class say, all right, everybody join the team. Does that make sense? So it's a lot easier than having to invite them individually. So I'll show that again. That was under, we went to the main things. We went to manage team. We went over to settings and I went to the team code and it generated one. So I could join that. I can also go down to the members permissions and I can really go in and manage this high level. So as much as I love Google Classroom, it's either all on or off, but I can't really kind of give more superpowers to certain people if I want to. You can also choose the mention option so people can @, people so that they can alert them. You can also, depending on your kiddos, filter out inappropriate content. So obviously we've made that strict. We want to make sure Giphy's on or off. So if all your kids are doing in the chat is adding GIFs and it's not beneficial, you can definitely turn that off. I can also manage my my notebook here so I can have access to that. So this is all here in Teams. So we want you to kind of click around and play. So notice as things are being added, I got it bolded here. So I know I missed something. I can hop back to it very easily. Now you might not be using it for the video piece, but you can use it for all of the organizing of your resources. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hop back over here, Melissa, and see how I'm doing on time. I know we got lots. So I showed you.
It's 7:47.
I know, but I have screenshots. I'm going to double check. I showed you how to create a team, showed you how you can join with a team code. We talked about class, PLC, staff, and other. Yep. Melissa,
you guys can add other teachers as co-teachers with you. And so I'm about to put the limits in the chat.
You can add your evaluators as well. So if you want them to pop in and see what's going on in your classroom, your virtual classroom, you can do that. And you can set those permissions.
And we just wanted to, and you guys will get access to this presentation, but we want to make sure people normally see that you have like the class team, the PLC team, the staff, and the other, but you don't ever get the deets for it, right? Like the details to compare and contrast when you're creating a team that's for adults or, for class. If you have a club, you could certainly do an other team, but we wanted to let you all know the specifics about the different teams and the features, and also some goals that you might want to do. Like for a class, you want to give assignments, you want to review student work and do grades. But for other, if you have like a Minecraft club, You just want the kids to be able to collaborate and communicate with one another. You're not really in there grading things. And then also the PLC notebook versus the staff notebook. Staff notebook is really good if you, once again, if you're an admin or if you're over a specific grade level, when you get that teams made, the OneNote that's made with it, every staff member will get their own section that other people can't see. So you can put observations in there. You can have a space where they can add ask questions in private in there. You can differentiate and personalize and give certain things to like your math teacher versus your art teacher, or you have a teacher that needs a little bit more support. You can slide in some classroom management videos, just all sorts of resources. OneNote, if you don't use OneNote, please let us know that y'all need, if you need a OneNote session, because OneNote is magic and it does all the things for you. It will really make your life easier. Even if you have a Google Classroom, you can create a OneNote and put the link to the OneNote in your Google Classroom. Also, if you have a Microsoft Teams, you could put a link to your Google Classroom in your Microsoft Teams. Just so you know, because they're links, they play well together.
So a couple of things popped up in the chat. Amy said she used it for elementary math club. Love that. Hardest part was helping kids get into the channels. So I would suggest Melissa's numbering of the channels is a great way to point out when they go into the team. Here's where you click on the left-hand side, look for those numbers. That might help. And Miss Nunnick, yes. How do you saw them on this? Because you reached out about wanting kids to use Discord as a way to communicate. I think this is an option because it's a safer spot that you can monitor versus Discord. You open it up and the kids, you can't control what Discords they're in. I think this is a kind of a, I would give it a try and sell them on it. It's just they can build out the team. Yeah, they don't like Remind, but this would be an option because you could create, because they do have the added levels of like the gifts and the goofy emojis and all of that. So it does seem more like Discord because you can have the channels that deal with different conversations. So we can talk more about that because I know you were looking for a solution, and I think Teams might be a good option for you to give it a try. Okay, I see Gregory would like some help with OneNote. Also, would like to talk about how you all about some securely help. Okay.
Okay, we got you, Greg.
All right, moving on. All right, so we talked about how you create your team, give it a name, you can give it a description. We talked about how you can manage and who all goes in it. See, I did these screenshots to make sure we talked about all the things. We did so
good. You're doing really good. I appreciate you.
We generated that team code so you can have some kids join it. And remember, as a student team, you're going to see that you can upload those class materials and add those channels as needed.
9-minute check. 9-minute check. So as we showed you guys in Teams, it's really cool to add channels because it helps students, it helps adults, it just helps you get organized. And also the fact that you can have private channels where it's just you and another colleague, like you and the teachers of the class, or you and certain students, or just the private channels really help out a lot because it helps you get the message out that you need to get out to your different subgroups.
So the privacy piece is definitely key. Like Melissa said, she made us a Jen and Melissa channel so we can do that. So it's great for you if you're a co-teacher and you want the ability to have a spot to share resources with, which is great.
Also, Jen, Kranika, can you come off of mute and go and tell them about the email that comes with each channel? Each teams and each channel gets its own email address. Kranika, can you give us some use cases that your teachers are using with their kids?
So if you need, let's say you have a private channel and you want to send a message to those that are in that private channel, or if you want to send a message to everyone, you can use that email address to send the information via email. And so everyone in that channel will get that information.
And they can't say they didn't.
Right. Or if you are toggling between Google and Teams, you can take that URL and drop it into your Google, and that gives them access to it as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
She is
welcome.
Miss Microsoft, Miss APS Microsoft, y'all.
I'm
She-
learning. I'm learning.
So I have a question for you then. I got excited because the annotation tool came up for my presenting and I was like, okay, now I need to turn it off. How do I do that? So hold on. I'm going to stop it for a second and I will just reshare. If I do that, we'll see what happens. Yeah, okay, that was neat that I was playing around with the
Hey,
annotation.
there's an observation that kids would not get the email.
Ah,
But that would just be K through 2, correct? Pranika, do your 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders receive the email?
Yes, 3 through 12 all get the APS email accounts.
So Laid, you said so private channels can only be created by the original creator. Yes, so if you're the owner of the team, you can make the private channels. And you can choose who, like, so when Melissa made it, she said only she and I could see it.
But if you have other people who are in there as owners, they should be able to make the private channels. Jen, can you make a private channel in ours?
I believe so. Hold on, let me get over here.
Yeah, so your students won't be able to make private channels upside.
So if I'm in here, if I go to this one and I want to add a channel, I can choose right here where it says private, specific, or shared. People I choose from my organization have access.
Yes.
Yep.
So your co-owners can also make private channels.
Yes. Because Melissa's the owner. She's just letting me, I have rental space in our team. All right, so we talked about how you can do assignments and you can actually do assignments and quizzes. So when you all create yours, we want you to explore that. That lives on the left-hand side where you can go in and create an assignment for your kiddos. And this is very similar to Google Classroom where you can pick title, you can give instructions, but you can also attach rubrics and you can assign to particular students as well and set your due date and end date for those assignments. And that also allows for you adding categories, which is great. So you can kind of filter and you can also set those due dates as well. The rubric feature is definitely nice because there is a rubric feature in Google Classroom, but that is in the pro version of Google Classroom. If you didn't know, there's like 3 tiers of Google. There's like the regular Google, the free Google, which is what we have. And then there's like a middle of the road Google. And then there's a high level Google. And that's where you're getting like more integrated apps and features. So with Teams, we have the ability to add in rubrics and stuff that's embedded. So Channel for Microsoft is synonymous with Google Classroom, as I'm understanding it. So Teams would be considered synonymous with Google Classroom, and a channel would be like your topics in Google Classroom, but you have more functionality to add in chats. Oh, I love this. Going off topic, I would love to learn how to make these killer presentations with the graphics. Is it with Canva or what tool? So today, last time we did it in Canva. This time, because we were talking Microsoft, Melissa and I said we would make it in PowerPoint. So we're trying to stick with the tools. So like
a PowerPoint.
Yeah. So when we do our next one, it will be it might be another tool. So stay tuned on that. But yes, love the thank you for the shout out on the design stuff. It's always fun to create these. This is the best part of why you like Teams, when you say, Melissa?
Okay, so you guys listen. You can make your own memes in Microsoft Teams. And children love, adults love even the little animated emojis. But if you go to and wait, there's more. The 3 dots, you'll see Jiffy and sticker. So Jiffy is just GIFs, right? So this is Jen earlier today. But if you go to the 3 dots and you choose sticker, if you slide down, there are a lot of stickers, y'all. They keep on adding too. If you slide down, you'll see me right under Clippy. You guys remember Clippy from the 80s? Was Clippy 80s or 90s? You'll see me. When you click on me, you'll be able to see.
Let me see. I'm going to go live over here real quick then, because
Thank you.
I don't think I had a screenshot of that one, but that's all right. We're going to go there.
Didn't? Okay.
I'm gonna get us there.
Do it because I was about to do it, but since they
All
can
right, so-
see you. Let's do it.
All right. So here in our, just because this is in our little private little chat just for you, I'm gonna go to, I got GIF, I got sticky. Wait, we need it in the
Oh.
general. We need general. Hold on. Let me go to the main channel. Now I get all these options. I got GIFs. There we go. I got stickies. I
And
got,
praise y'all.
I can find other apps I can connect to it. So I can add other things in there, which is great. I can give the likes. I can upload smiley faces. I got all the things. So I can make this more engaging right here in our conversation. All right. So I think we've shown a lot of things, Melissa. We went.
Yes, y'all. It is 7:59, and Jen and I knew it was too much goodness, y'all. And we want to be respectful of your time because you're grown folks with lives. But if we could have y'all, we would have y'all for longer than just an hour. It's only just a taste of the goodness. Jen, go towards the end because we're adding in just a couple of what we're going to call play dates next time. Or during a play date, we're gonna have to do Microsoft Learn.
Okay.
Oh no, Jen.
Did I not?
Let me put. It's okay. I'll do a screenshot. We add in just a couple more dates for y'all.
And those are optional dates that we're gonna have some play dates that y'all can you're interested in diving into a little bit more. But hopefully, you found tonight's session exciting. How can you see Microsoft Teams helping you? That's the big question. A mini, I love this. A mini EdTech Champions Conference would be amazing.
Ooh,
I love
that would be, yes.
Someone says,
We're here for it.
impossible to delete some archived Google Classrooms. If you're the co-teacher, it might not let you delete it. That's what I'm thinking. Candace, I'm looking to see if there's any other comments in here. I just want to say thank you all so much for being with us tonight. And we're going to be sharing out some more stuff. But hopefully now, do you feel a little bit better? That you can navigate Teams a little bit better to find the resources we're going to be dropping in there.
And
hopefully,
don't forget, Teams is going to be our home base with you guys. So we want to make sure that y'all feel comfortable with it.
Okay. I love it. Thank you. This has been awesome. I noticed too, if you can't create it, then you won't be able to delete it. Yes. If you're not the owner of it, they don't want you to delete the class. You can just archive it. I'm looking to see if there's any other remaining questions in here, but we're going to send you all a follow-up. Watch the team for some notifications, any announcements we have in there. That's where you go back to see the things. And we are going to have some dates coming up with more play dates, more fun stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I wonder why is it not in your presentation?
Remember when you made all your little changes, it was only letting me see the view only. So that's why I don't see it.
Oh, you didn't have the magic.
So when you do the updated one, you can put the link in the Google in the team for everybody.
Okay, I will.
Thank you for all the kind words. We appreciate you. This has been awesome.
Fast and furious. Don't forget, you guys can always reach out to us in the teams. We have a one of our channels for question and answers. You can also email us, JL Hall and MD Walker. We enjoyed you all. Hope you learned at least one thing that you can use. Go forth, play, and have fun, and then report back to us. So
exactly.
We can learn too.
Let us know how it went. Exactly. See, I'm thinking, Coach Robinson, you're going to set you up a team to coordinate all of your actual athletic teams and communicate with your coaches.
Yeah.
Yes, because currently we're using Google Classroom.
Yeah, you could have it more streamlined with where you share out your stuff. Thank you all so much to all of you Rockstar champions. We appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna stop that and we will stop our recording.